I got a question from someone from the UK, a man from the UK. Can I compare and contrast happiness, the feeling of happiness in the Philippines compared to the West? I'm going to do that today. I'm going to explain that exactly. No fluff, no bullcrap. I could have done this anywhere in the world, but I did it here in the Philippines, and I'm not perfect. I'm not higher than anyone, and I'm not lower either. Here in the province, you guys, just on my balcony in this big storm, typhoon time here in the Philippines. Where am I happier? He asked me basically. And can I compare why? He wants to know why. So, if you don't know, I'm George. I've been here in the Philippines since January of 2010. And here in San Carlos City in the province, I lived in Cebu City for a couple years and relocated with my wife, Caroline, in 2012 to San Carlos City. All right, so here it is, you guys. And I'm going to just give you metaphors to compare it. In the United States, which I can talk to, my experiences. America, I will compare like being shot with an arrow close to your heart. I'm not going to worry about who shot the arrow, where it came from, or why they shot the arrow. I'm going to focus on getting the arrow out as quick as possible so I can live. So what their arrow is, it represents human suffering. So when I was in America, I was so busy working anywhere from 36 to 70 plus hours every week as a nurse. Whatever happened, events around me, what people would say, what people would do, all the splitting and the polarization and the differences. If you're a woman, if you're a man, all those differences going into relationships. And if you're conservative or if you're considered on the very far left, there's no in between anymore. It's split. And for me, I would say people would label me. I won't label myself as a conservative because I believe in faith, family, and community. And I believe in nationality, like being proud of where you live and being proud of your nation. And when I was younger, I used to have that in America. I used to feel that. But it changed as I got older. And around 2007, around that time, 2006, 2007, I started looking at other countries where I'd want to go, where there's a strong national pride and where I felt like I could have a relationship with other people and be safe and not be cast out because of my beliefs or someone beat me up or fire me from my job or even in worst case scenario, like wipe you out from the world, right? So in America, I just didn't feel something was driving me somewhere else. And maybe it was God's whisper, but I wasn't able to hear it clearly, reacting from things that were happening outside of myself. And when I came to the Philippines, I was with someone for a year and it didn't work out. And I made really bad choices because my mindset was really messed up. The relationship didn't work out. We weren't a match at all. We talked for a couple years before I came. We weren't a match at all in person. It just wasn't good for either of us. And so I ended up leaving and I ended up falling. And I ended up, from my poor choices, people will call you names on the internet. They'll troll you. Who cares, you guys? It's life experiences. Bad things happen. You raise up. You just don't feel sorry for yourself. You do things to fix your situation because I learned God is not going to fix your situation. God gave us everything already and he made us in his image. It's more than belief. It's experience. It's a life lived out. It's a wish fulfilled from falling so far in the mud, in the dirt, and then lifting myself up out of that. And I happened to be in the Philippines when that happened. I was able to look at my situation and say, you need to fix things, George. You need to fix your mindset because you're coming. It's not the outside world, what other people do that affects you. It's your own choices and your inner thoughts about yourself, your fear of failure, your fear of failure in everything, failure in businesses, failure in relationships, not being good enough, living from that place, living from a place of fear, never having enough, and believing that's what you deserve. So I saw myself. How you love your parents, like unconditionally, you're usually not asking your parents for something. You just love them unconditionally. Well, in other relationships, like if I wanted to be married with someone, I have to find that place inside myself, no matter what they do, where I can love them in an unconditional way, like how I love my parents. How people say God, right? God, the divine, whatever you want to call it. How God loves us. We have to heal ourselves. We have to heal ourselves so we can love other people in that same way. And it's a possibility. It's a potential we have. But not everybody realizes that because we're so caught up in looking at the differences and looking at other people and living in places of fear. So what I'm trying to say is we pick our own brainwashing because we're brainwashed by something. Is it going to be the news? Is it going to be what politicians are saying? Is it going to be what they're broadcasting in their talking points? Or are we going to go into seclusion somewhere and listen to our own inner thoughts and not get caught up in that chaos? And speaking of chaos, the Philippines has its own chaos. They have the same problems, same issues with corruption and things like that going on. But the difference is the Philippines chaos, the flow of life, it makes more sense to me. It makes more sense to a lot of people. That flow of life that I'm talking about compared to the flow of life in America, it's very different. We hate other people because their skin color. We hate other people because of their man or woman. Whatever, we just find reasons to hate other people and blame them for everything. That arrow that's inside us, we need to find a way quickly to pull it out so we can survive. So what I did was I started looking at myself and saying, why am I holding anger towards other people? And I would sit in that. I would sit in that quietness, solitude. When I came to the province, I had a lot of time to think and to meditate and to pray, able to develop gratefulness inside my heart, like by saying simple things like, thank you, Father, for thou hast heard me. I knew you always hear me, or I know, but I say I knew, like it already happened. I started doing those affirmations, and then I started seeing, like, if you want something in your life, if you have a desire, if it's a very selfish desire just for yourself, it's okay, but it's going to be like small. But if you have a desire where you're thinking of other people, your motivation is for other people, then you're going to get big results in a faster way. That's just what I learned. So for me, I started thinking, what is my motivation? Well, I during the time when I fell, the people that came into my life were people for real. I had nothing to offer and they still wanted to be with me. They saw value in me when I couldn't see value in myself. When I put on my dark glasses, I feel like some kind of power. I don't know why. So they saw value in me. Caroline saw value in me when I didn't see it in myself. And she loved me. Other people did not give up on me, and I didn't want to give up on myself. And I knew I could do something wonderful. I mean, even in the smallest way here on earth while I'm alive. I knew that. So my motivation was to lift myself up so I can repay the people that helped me. I'm in perfect harmony with the working of the law. That's God's law. I am in perfect harmony with the working of the law. I stand aside and let infinite intelligence make easy and successful my way. I wanted to get to the happiness part. I said America was like the arrow getting shot in your heart or close to your heart, because all the divisiveness and chaos that's going on there, it's been going on for years. And that's why I left a long time ago, but it's gotten a lot worse. But that's what it was, because I had so much pain, but I was blaming all the pain points on other people because they were doing those things. So I could have been in any place in the world. But when I came to the Philippines, there wasn't a surveillance state. I'm walking down the street people, everyone will say hi. The mood is different. Like, they're happy to see you. Not everyone's like that, but it's majority. The people here have the same kind of conservative beliefs. They believe in God. They believe in faith. They believe in marriage. They believe in family. There's outliers to that, right? And the world's changing, but in the province where I am, it's like that. And you're looked up to if you're a husband that stays with the wife no matter what. And you're together and you support each other through the hard times, through the struggles. You just don't leave and make excuses. You don't make excuses like you love your wife today, the next week you fell in love with your neighbor, and then you leave for your neighbor because your wife did this or did that. No, it's about us. It's about our character, our own character. You're going to stick it out with the person that has baggage. You have baggage. You're going to work on your own baggage, and you're going to stay with the person. That's what I learned here in the Philippines, because people didn't give up on me. Even I had so many shortcomings, and I have so many shortcomings. But my shortcomings when I fell were huge. They stuck out, and people saw me in my worst states and stayed with me. And so that's what I learned. And then I look around here in the province. Not everyone's perfectly happy all the time, but the lesson I learned is they stay together, and they have a faith in God outside of themselves. And they believe that strongly. Like, that's their foundation of their life. So when they're with someone, most people are not trying to hurt the other person on purpose, or not trying to be selfishly motivated to leave because they're not happy. No one's happy 100% of the time. But their happiness comes from being married and seeing their children grow up and being a supportive partner in whatever way they can without complaining. For us, we have a lot of challenges because, of course, when you're from another country with a different upbringing, you have different likes and different culture. We're basically a slave to that. You can change some things, but other things you can't. And then your partner is also a slave to that. And the mind is different. They think different. So imagine all those challenges, and still you work through it. And my wife and I have been together. We met in 2011, and we've been together since 2011. Now we have 4 wonderful Filipino children. It's not perfect, but overall we have happiness, and we have disagreements, but we work through those things. And no matter what, we have the same mindset that we love each other. But when you have that faith in God, you really believe, then you can transcend to a different kind of love where you don't sweat the smaller things. So happiness in America, you could be happy there. You could be like the lotus flower, be born from a seed in the mud and the chaos and all the adversity against you, and still rise up and be a beautiful flower above all that and beautiful smell. You still can be that. Or you can be in the Philippines or any other place in the world and wake up and discover how other people live, and maybe incorporate some of that into your own life, because you realize that you're humble. And when you see things that are better in other places, the way they do things, not everything, there's a lot of things that aren't better here, but the way they have relationships with each other, the way they hold their tongue not to hurt each other on purpose, cognizant of what the other person's thinking and caring enough not to harm them, even if they're a stranger. In America, it's so divisive, and people will just say things to hurt each other. And sometimes they don't even recognize that you're a human being. I couldn't do it there, but I did it in a place where I could go into solitude. It happened to be the Philippines. And people say a lot of surface things that come here on videos. They'll say that people are kind. The weather overall is nice because the sun, and the beaches are beautiful, and you can go here and there. But I'm talking deeper. This video is deeper. The happiness comes from within. But the Philippines gives you time to wake up in the province where I am, because I could go into seclusion and discover what God put inside me. And when that happens, your whole being, your mind, your heart, your soul is connected in one place. And then your actions that you take will be skillful actions where you no longer are always hurting other people. Yeah, you're not perfect, so sometimes we do hurt people, but you're cognizant of the other people and their feelings, and you don't want to cause harm. You wish happiness for all beings. So anyway, in my own imperfection, I discovered God's perfection here in the Philippines.